you sing happy birthday to you.
I'm perfectly fine with that, as you can imagine.
You look disappointed by that.
Ready?
Yep. Make a declaration at least, right?
We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is a very long consent agenda.
Okay.
All right. Good morning. Welcome to the May 23rd, 2024 meeting of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I serve as the chair this year. Joining me is Commissioner Aaron Mays. Good morning.
Good morning.
Commissioner Bill Rippon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Our county clerk, Ms. Otto's filling in this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
And then Mr. Eckert. Mr. Eckert, your birthday is tomorrow. Miss Beck thought it was last week, but if you don't mind, I don't think we'll sing happy birthday to you.
Yeah, I haven't been in the third grade for quite some time.
All right. Commissioner Mays thought perhaps maybe a proclamation or resolution would be more fitting, but.
I'll get right on that.
All right. So with that, Madam Clerk, our first item.
Item 3, consent agenda.
Are there any questions or is there a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, county clerk. Number 1, consider all voucher payments.
This morning, we have vouchers totaling $1,521,157.56. After reviewing them, I didn't see anything that was overly notable or questionable on there, so I would make a motion that we approve the vouchers.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. Opposed. Motion passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, parks and recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-171-2024, a service agreement with Arts Connect for the proposed design and painting of the Blaisdell Art Wall at a cost of $5,000. Request to utilize Gage Park Improvement Authority funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So we have a mural at Blaisdell Pool that's aging and it's fading, and actually there's pieces of it falling off. So we want to rehab that area and then replace it with, this is the proposed design for a new mural. We've worked with Arts Connect on this. We would pay for it out of the Gage Park Improvement Authority funds with your approval. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
Where would this be located?
It's inside the pool. There's currently there's a wall in there that's got a polar bear mural now, and it's just in pretty bad shape. It was a nice mural when it was done, but it's faded and there's actually pieces of it falling off. We'll be able to do all of this without interrupting any of the pool operations and hours, so it should be pretty seamless if we move forward.
Okay. Any questions?
Cool. I'll move for approval.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-177-2024 for the Kansas State Fiscal Year 2024 Waste Tire Grant through the Kansas Department of Health and Environment.
Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So we apply for this grant pretty much every year, and this year we applied for, I believe, 4 different parks, and we were awarded one. and that was Clyde O'Bracken. So essentially, this is a 50-50 match if accepted. Our portion would be the same as theirs, $12,431.59. And we are putting new playground equipment in at Clyde O'Bracken, and I believe that's happening probably as we speak. And so this would help then pay for the safety surfacing once that's done.
And those that don't know, the Clyde O'Bracken Park is directly to the north of the YWCA. It's situated between the Supreme Court building and the YWCA. And they are putting in the equipment. They were started yesterday, so there's work going on right now for the new equipment.
I was never sure the name of that park. I've heard three different names.
Sertoma Park.
And Plaza Park and
Right.
Clyde O'Bracken.
Right, it's, I believe if you pull it up on Google Maps, it says Sertoma Park.
Really?
But we're, from our records, Clyde O'Bracken, so that's what we're gonna stay.
I think the history goes that it's named Clyde O'Bracken, but the Sertoma Club has adopted it, and
Yes.
they do quite a bit of work there.
Right.
So, is there any other questions, or is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 3, approval is requested to use bond funding for the proposed Phase 1 environmental site assessment set to be performed by Terracon, contract C-178-2024, on property under consideration for a future park fleet maintenance area. Total estimated cost is $2,700.
Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So yes, we are asking to enter into this contract with Terracon to do the Phase 1 environmental survey at the Florence property, just really to safeguard our interest and make sure things look good before we move forward with this process. So be happy to answer any questions. If it is approved, they think it'll take 12 to 15 business days, so they'll be done no later than June 10th of this year.
I know that there was some emails that were going back and forth, even up to yesterday with Terracon and the Parks and Rec Department. Have we got everything ironed out as far as the contract goes?
I believe we have.
Okay, so this is ready to go forward?
Ready to go.
Okay. And again, this is an environmental study for that property that we're potentially going to purchase?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item C, Department of Corrections, number 1, request approval to purchase 2 60-pound washing machines for the detention center laundry room from the lowest bidder at a cost of $31,274 using KDHE COVID-19 mitigation grant funds.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Department of Corrections. We received funding in light of the COVID-19 epidemic or pandemic, and originally it was so that we could continue to do testing and that kind of thing, but as it has waned a bit, we had excess funds, and so we requested KDHE to let us redirect those funds and do something for the facility that would help us maintain cleanliness. And they agreed to let us spend it on these 60-pound washing machines. And so we wanted to expedite this process because we're reaching a deadline of July 31st to try to have the work done. So I'm asking that we have a vote to suspend the resolution regarding purchasing and approve this purchase.
Is this replacing current equipment that we have at the facility?
Yes, sir. It's right now we have a 30-pound and a 60-pound, so this will increase our capacity and have new machines.
And then our current machines, are they at the end of life, or are they just needing to be upgraded to a higher capacity?
Well, they are reaching into life, but this was just an opportunity to jump ahead of that a little bit and increase our capacity.
Other questions?
Does this require any special adaptation to the building or anything to get these in? And
No, sir. Our facility will allow it to just fit right into the structure that we have.
Okay.
Other questions?
No, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item. Thank you.
Number 2, Request approval of an application for behavioral health services funding from the Kansas Department of Corrections to create 2 personnel positions, conduct assessments and treatment for behavioral health and substance use disorder needs with the juvenile population in the Juvenile Detention Center in the amount of $414,700.41 for fiscal year 2025.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela McCarty, Department of Corrections. I'm requesting to apply for funds for the Juvenile Detention Center through Kansas Department of Corrections. It's a behavioral health services fund that they've released based off of mandates from House Bill 2021, requiring juvenile detention centers to conduct assessments, mental health assessments, substance use assessments on all youth coming in, plus also providing programming, mental health and substance use treatment, group and individual treatment programming that meets those needs. If awarded the funding, then we look to create 2 new positions to conduct the assessments, coordinate services with a contract with Family Service and Guidance Center to provide those mental health and substance use programming. Also, a programs officer to work with Family Service and Guidance Center as well in the facility to provide those programs. State DOC does plan on continuing releasing those funds every year for juvenile detention centers to continue to meet that mandate. I'll stand for any questions you may have at this time.
So if I understand correctly, this grant will hire 2 people to work at the Shawnee County Juvenile Correctional Facility.
Correct.
And those 2 people are going to be focused in on mental health and substance abuse.
Correct. We currently don't have any programming specific to those services.
Now, the employees that were the people hired under the grant, are they going to have a background in behavioral health and substance abuse, or are they?
Right. Currently, what they would be responsible for is coordinating those services. So the state is actually providing us an assessment, and then they would implement that assessment and create a case plan, and then they coordinate those services with Family Service and Guidance Center through a contract that we would have with them.
So is their role to be more of a caseworker and liaison?
More probably so programming in the facilities. We have staff that some of that are already equipped to do that, to provide those services, and then coordinate more so with case planning, management with Family Service and Guidance Center.
The average stay of a juvenile in the juvenile correctional facility, is it long enough to make an impact in the programming?
So we do have some that only come in and they might be in detention for about 14 days. So we do have a plan with Family Service and Guidance Center to provide evaluations, to come in and do an evaluation and set up appointments so we can do some more wraparound services with that youth once they're released from the detention center. To continue those services, a lot of our youth are already enrolled in services with Family Service and Guidance Center, so they'll continue that service once they're released. But then we also have long-term youth that tend to be in detention for 30 days to longer. And so that population will also focus on bringing Family Service and Guidance Center. They have a care coordinator that would be assigned to this position to come in and do evaluations and do group and individual counseling as needed.
Other questions?
This covers salaries and what other?
And benefits, so it covers the salaries and benefits of both of those staff, and then the contract with Family Service and Guidance Center. And if we are awarded the funds that I'm requesting, it would also pay for the contract that we have currently with Family Peace Initiative, that they provide trauma-focused batterers intervention type programs in the facility.
Are these programs we've contracted for in the past?
I don't believe we've ever contracted with Family Service and Guidance Center for this type of service. We do currently contract with Family Peace Initiative, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, I'll move to adopt.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item D, Audit Finance, number 1, request to reallocate existing vacant Accountant 1 position to Auditor 1.
Good morning, Jennifer Sauer, Financial Administrator. Just as Chris said, we have a vacant accountant one position that handles our accounts receivable in our office and the tax distributions. It's a critical position, and we have really had a hard time finding a good fit for this position for all the duties at the accountant one level. So in working with HR, we kind of assessed the duties and came up with that an auditor one position would be a better classification for this, for all the duties that we require of it. So we are asking that we would have permission to reclassify this position and then post it so that we can get this position filled.
Questions? I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you,
Thank you.
Jennifer. Our next item.
Item E, solid waste. Number 1, consider approval of awarding a bid for the purchase of roll-off containers to Downing Sales and Service with funding from the 2024 Solid Waste Operational Fund, which is 100% user fee funded and not taxpayer supported.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. April 25th, we went out for bid for containers for both roll-off and dumpsters. For my roll-off, we had 6 vendors that provided bids. My low bid actually was the wrong style of roll-off container that we requested. The second low bid rescinded their bid, so we have to go with Downing Sales and Services, and that's who we're requesting to be awarded the bid to. Subject to your questions.
Questions? Yes.
Did we follow up with the vendors that, I mean, obviously this is the third lowest bid.
Yes.
Did we follow up and see if we needed to modify the RFP at all, or?
The RFP actually stipulated rectangle dumpsters, and they provided a quote for, it's called bathtub style, which we do not use. A lot of people do not use them. That's why we think they're just trying to get rid of them at a lower price. They would not suit us. And
Okay.
then we was going to go with that second one, but then they pulled back their bid for some reason. So.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions?
No. I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Number 2, consider approval of awarding a bid for the purchase of commercial containers to Waste Quip Manufacturing Company, LLC, with funding from the 2024 Solid Waste Operational Fund, which is 100% user fee funded and not taxpayer supported.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. This is for our commercial containers, also known as dumpsters. We had 5 vendors submit bids, and the overall low bid, we have no issues with it, and that is Waste Equip Manufacturing, and that's who we'd like to award our bid to, subject to your questions.
Any questions? Yes.
I just want to note that on the website, the supporting documentation is flip-flopped on these 2 items. So, I don't know who needs to fix that in the record, but yeah. I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item F, Stormontvale Event Center. Number 1, consider a request for $8,000 from the Stormontvale Event Center Capital Expenditure Fund to replace and add an air conditioning unit in the Agriculture Hall West restrooms by Custom Sheet Metal.
Good morning, Commissioners. Matt Rockers, Director of Operations, Stormontvale Event Center. Today's request is for $8,000 to Custom Sheet Metal. Back in January during the cold snap, we had a furnace that failed that serves that the west restrooms of Ag Hall. In the process, since that part of the facility has never had air conditioning, we added an air conditioning unit to it as well. The funding for this would come from our capital expenditure fund, and the advisory board has approved this.
Questions?
I would move for approval.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Rippon, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor? All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item G, Health Department. Number 1, approval to accept the Kansas Department of Health and Environment supplemental funding for the maternal child care home visiting program in the amount of $12,200 for state fiscal year 2024.
Good morning, Commissioners. Missy Biddendorf, Health Department, Family Health Division Manager. And this is asking for your approval to accept these extra dollars that were offered to our home visiting program. This would not have any match to them, and currently we have the maternal child health KDHE. We require the 40% match from our general fund. So with these extra dollars, it would all go towards salary of those home visitors.
Okay. All right.
I'll move for approval.
Good news. Second.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Passes 3-0. Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item H, Information Technology, number 1. Consider authorization and execution of contract C-176, 2024 with Verizon Wireless for cellular service. The agreement covers monthly access fees and equipment charges for 550 lines. The estimated monthly cost for the access fees is $27,500, and the equipment charge is $10,000, of which the estimated fees are billed to the departments using the equipment.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is just our annual funding that Verizon requires us to commit to. This is based upon our contract we have with Verizon. The contract we're under was actually from an RFP back in about 2010. The response they gave to the RFP was based upon state of Kansas contract pricing. So over that 14 years now, we've made adjustments to our contract based upon what the state of Kansas has done. With talking with you, Commissioner Cook, we'll be looking to do an RFP next year. We don't really expect to see a major change because we are getting state of contract pricing already. And we'll do our due diligence, go through. One of the reasons we selected Verizon, if I remember right, at the time, they were not actually the lowest, but they were the provider that, the provider that gave the best coverage in Shawnee County. There were areas that were dead for the other providers, and when you have a sheriff's car out somewhere trying to use an MDT, we want to make sure that is available to them. So we plan in 25 to come to you and do an RFP to just make sure we're still getting the best prices. But this, long story, this is for this current year to fulfill our current contract we're under.
And as noted, this last time that went out for RFP was 2010, so I think that it's about time for us to at least periodically go out for requests for and see what other bids there might be, what other providers there may be. Not that we're dissatisfied with Verizon at this point, but I think that it's due diligence on the part of the body and to be responsible for the taxpayers. So, other questions? Mark, I might note if the math serves, if we're getting 550 lines and it's $27,500 per month, that comes out to roughly $50 a month for cell phone service.
That's fairly close. It gets a little hard to determine because sometimes there are some phones that have hotspots added on. There are hotspots at the elections office. Like this covers the full amount. Those hotspots are only on during election time, so when we're not in the middle of an election, our actual monthly cost is going to be less than the $25,000. So it stays consistent as long as all devices are active and being utilized.
Okay. Commissioner Mays?
So, Mark, there's an equipment charge also. Do they come and refresh our equipment on a regular basis?
We do get, I think it's every year we can get a new device. Normally, when we get new devices for most departments, those are actually at zero cost or government discount cost. So that $10,000 is not like we're spending that every month. That is, again, kind of agreeing to a line of credit that we can spend up to $10,000 a month for equipment if we choose to.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Mays.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Rippon. All in favor say aye. All opposed. Passes 3-0. Thank you, Mark. Our next item.
Item I, Human Resources, number 1. Reflect the change in the employer rate of contribution for the CAPERS, KPNF, and working after retirement rates effective January 1st, 2025. Due to the passing of House Bill 2711, raising the CAPERS retiree death benefit, the previously approved CAPERS rates have increased.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis, Director of Administrative Services. As Chris just mentioned, the House Bill 2711 increased the retiree death benefits, which also increased the 2025 CAPERS rates that were previously approved. The current CAPERS and CAPERS working after retirement under 25,000 rate is 9.26. The rate set in February was 9.60. The new rate is 9.71, which is a 0.11% increase. KPNF, the current employer rate is 23.10. February's rate was 24.61, and the new rate is 24.67, which is a 0.06% increase. The working after retirement covered over $25,000, working after retirement non-covered, and the death and disability insurance are unchanged. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions? All right. Thank you for bringing that to us, and I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item J, Sheriff's Office, number 1. Acknowledge correspondence from Sheriff Hill to reclassify the Business Technology Coordinator position to the position of Public Safety Project Manager.
Good morning, Commissioner. Shane Hubler, Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. This is a reclassification of an existing position to better address what this subject actually does for Shawnee County. Over the course of time, our technology has evolved. The amount of technology we use, the programs we use has greatly evolved, and this person continues to do those jobs and do a great job, and just trying to get that person in the fair place. Be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
No, this is an occupied position that you're reclassifying. It's not a vacant.
Correct.
Right. Okay. I'll move for approval.
Second. Motion for approval by Commissioner Mays, second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next item.
Item 5, public comment.
This is an opportunity for any member of the public to address the commission on any matter. Is there anybody that would like to address the commission?
Good morning, Henry McClure, Shawnee County. It's great to see you at the riverfront, Bill. And that was a good public forum. The riverfront project, and I got to compliment the execution of that project. And I think there's a lot we can learn. The timing of the project, it'd been nice to have the city council have the ability to be there, but they're trying to solve the homeless problem. But that aside, it was well attended. But I got to tell you, there was some genius there as the way the people that made the presentation, you could like pull up a QR code while they're making their presentation, and you could vote kind of as you're going. It was really a neat interactive way to get input from the people live on time. So I compliment our, I think downtown Topeka hosted that in the chamber. That was cool. It's really basically a real estate deal, and I hope that there's a way, you know, if you're going to do a real estate deal, it should make money. And I just hope this is not the next big thing for the, for public funds to be diverted. We've got access down on the west side, and we've got access on the east side at Fool's Landing. I don't even know. It's just like the river doesn't get a lot of use, and I don't know. But do the people want it? And one thing I miss in this community more than anything was the Metropolitan Planning Commission. And I think Vic Miller was the council or the commissioner that disbanded it. And some friends of mine that were running for city council, when they were knocking on doors, they said, that was one of the #1 things people talked about, that the community really worked better with a Metropolitan Planning Commission. Now, state law today requires, you have the ability to create what's a third planning commission that has, and we could be doing that today. It has members, it would have members of the, it basically makes a metropolitan planning commission out of the two planning commissions you have. But we have to get public involvement. We've got to, what was nice about the planning commissions, the presentations, they weren't as costly. We spend so much money on consultants and presentations. We should be stealing the ideas. We should be using their interactive to actually, maybe when we have an MTPO meeting, we haven't had one, I think, in person in 3 years. The federal law says we're supposed to be having them to determine where the federal dollars go. But what I'm telling you is, until we get our streets fixed in this town, it was interesting how your counselor, our esteemed colleague there on the end, says, you know, the voters might be kind of angry if we don't figure out how to fix that $16.5 million shortfall that we have on the voter issue. So I think really before we bite off any more huge projects that are going to drain the taxpayers of money, we get our streets fixed, we figure out how to use that sales tax money. I would hate to see that sales tax money get diverted down to a riverfront, and we got to figure out how that riverfront just can stand on its own. How can the stakeholders in there make money? But also too, it'd be not, you know, the guy that runs your riverfront authority, it'd be nice if that fellow would return a call. And because I've had some questions over the last several months and have been yet to get a meeting with that guy. So maybe one of you guys could help arrange. Maybe one of you guys know Greg Schwartz. So, but kudos again for the commission, or to the host of our public meeting for the riverfront. And thank you.
Any other public comment? Our next item.
Item 6, Administrative Communications.
This is an opportunity for any department head or county employee to address the commission.
Jennifer Sauer, Financial Administrator. It is time to start our fun 2025 budget time for Shawnee County. So I thought it would be nice to share some key dates that are coming up over the next few months, so that everyone knows when will we be discussing certain topics. So June 27th, July 1st, and July 11th during BCC meetings and work sessions, we will be discussing the 2025 departmental budget hearings, including the CIP requests that will be held with department heads and elected officials. And then on July 25th, 22nd, 25th, and 29th, sorry, these are tongue twisters, the capital improvement plan discussion will be held during commission meetings and work sessions with the final approval during a commission meeting. During the month of August, we will be working with the commission to discuss revisions to departmental budget requests during commission meetings and during work sessions. And then on September 5th at 9 a.m. in the BCC chambers, we will be having our public hearing for the revenue neutral rate and the 2025 budget. So I just wanted to share those dates so that everyone can get them on their calendars. Thanks.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're. Kurt Neos, Director of Public Works. Just a courtesy reminder that on May 30th, Western Hills Church at 2900 Southwest Auburn Road, that's in the southeast quadrant of the intersection of Auburn Road and Southwest 29th Street. We will have a presentation on our upcoming Auburn Road project. It will
be from 5:30 to 6:30 again, if I haven't already said that, and we look forward to everybody. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kurt.
Tim Lorette, Parks and Recreation Department. Just want to remind everybody that this weekend, all of our aquatic centers will open, weather permitting. And also that we have the Acacia 3A State Softball Tournament here in town this weekend. It starts today at 11 a.m. out at Invista Softball Complex, and they have games today and tomorrow. And then it's still not too late if you want to get a ticket to the showing of Jaws tomorrow night at Adventure Cove. So a lot of things going on. Thank you.
Morning Commissioners, Barbara Lewis, Benefits Assistant and Human Resources. Several years ago, Human Resources started a new tradition of using employee-submitted photos in the annual benefits guide to have it be more of a reflection of Shawnee County employees. A photo contest was held, and employees were able to send in their photos. This year, there were 76 photo submissions. The photos were voted on anonymously by members of the Health and Wellness Committee, and 12 photos were selected. We would like to say thank you to everyone that sent in a photo. Winners this year were Hermania Chavez, Tamara Simpson, Yolanda Alexander, Jenna Slink, Nicole Collins, Angela Lewis, Kayla Martinez, and Aaron Shear. Winners were rewarded with a $15 gift card to a local restaurant, and their photos will be featured in the 2025 benefits guide that we will reveal in October. So congratulations to our winners. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. Just like to remind everybody that in observance of Memorial Day, which is on Monday, we will be closed, and we will be shifting everything to the right by one day, with our double day being on Tuesday. And just hope everybody has a nice, safe, long weekend. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other administrative communications? Commissioner Rippon?
As Henry mentioned, we had Riverfront Authority and the Greater Peak Partnership did they had a presentation, the architects that they've contracted with that do some conceptual drawings, and they had 3 good concepts, and people got to look at them, vote on them, and it was a good meeting, well attended, a lot of people there, so we'll see what comes out of that.
Okay. Commissioner Mays?
I had the opportunity to go on the little bus tour that they did through Noto and downtown to kind of look at some of the opportunities that are available up there, and some of the plans that they have, kind of long-term master plan type of things, and some exciting things and some real good opportunities if somebody's got some money they want to invest. So it was a nice little tour, and thank you to the people in Noto and downtown for putting that on.
Yes. As we're filling the pools and getting all the pools ready, Tim, I know that our pool in Oakland is still under construction. I understand that it's on schedule still, and we're still looking at maybe a early July-ish hopeful completion date. Knocking on wood.
Yeah, Tim Laurent, Parks and Recreation Department. So we had a meeting yesterday, and the rain's pushed us back a little bit, so they've adjusted that schedule slightly. They're hoping maybe mid-July now. But yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed. We'll see how the weather continues to cooperate or not, but that'll play a big role.
Okay, but the Oakland pool, the old Oakland pool, we're not filling this year, and that we had announced that earlier.
Correct.
But Garfield pool is still open. There's other pools while we're under construction.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
everything else is full steam ahead.
Okay, very good.
All right.
Thank you. As noted also, Monday is Memorial Day, so we will not have a work session. So take the time and enjoy your families. Our next item.
Executive sessions.
There is a need for an executive session today to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel and matters relating to employee or employee negotiations, whether or not in consultation with the representative or representatives of the body or agency, and that is specifically with the Fraternal Order of Police, Communication Workers of America, and then our Teamsters. And then finally, consultation with the attorney for the body or agency, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, and this would be for a period of 30 minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Mays. We'll start at, let's say 9:50, and then no action is anticipated. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. We are in executive session beginning at 9:50. Jennifer doesn't think that the gavel would make it, it would break our table.
would win,
It would break the table in the conference room.
absolutely.
All right, ready? We are back from executive session. There was no action taken. We're adjourned.